The idea of manifestation is something that I've been contemplating a lot on, thinking about a lot, and it's really difficult as an overthinker because the idea of manifestation is you just let things happen as they are. You become what you want to become, and you don't try to become anything. You're not trying, you're not forcing. But then as an overthinker, you start to question whether you're doing it right. You start to question, am I putting enough effort into this thing? Should I just lay back and not do anything? How much action should I take? If I'm putting in too much action, well, then am I forcing what I want? My desire is being too heavily acted upon. It's really hard as an overthinker to do manifestation, I think. I don't know if there's anyone out there that can relate, but it's something I've been exploring for a few years. At first, I didn't understand it. At first, it felt just so woo-woo, and I'm probably not alone in that idea. It felt a lot like you just wish and think that something will happen and something will happen. I was like, this is bullshit. No way. This is crazy. But the more that I got into it, the more I learned, the more I listened to more powerful voices on the internet and people talking about it and understood what it really was, I learned that it's not just meditating, hoping, wishing, praying. It's becoming, like I said earlier, becoming the thing before you become the thing. And to become the thing, you have to put in the effort to become the thing. And so what I think a lot of gurus and a lot of people who talk about manifestation, law of attraction, that sort of thing, what they forget to mention is that you have to put in the work. You have to take action. Tony Robbins has a great little saying. He says, to get massive change, you have to take massive action. And I believe in that. That makes sense to me. Not just sitting back, hoping, wishing, praying, but you can hope, wish, and pray, then go do. And the doing, I think, is where the magic happens. I've always been a very proactive person, a very hands-on, if I want something, I'm going to go after it and I'm going to get it kind of person, which can have a lot of needy energy behind it. But I'm very proactive. I learned at a young age, if you want something in life, you have to go get it. No one's going to give it to you. This life doesn't owe you anything. Brain fart. And so I said, okay, great, roger that. I'll go get it. I'll go do it myself because there's a lot in this life that I want. And so I'll go learn the things. I'll go do the things. I'll shake the hands I need to shake. I'll go to the events I need to get to. I'll go study for the tests that I need to take, whatever it is. And through that process, I understand now that you become the thing that you desire to become. And then you become it because you put in the actions to do it. I think the law of attraction, manifestation, that whole idea, they say that it all starts with an idea. It all starts in the mind, which I believe. I believe in that. But that's not good enough, right? Steve Jobs had an idea for the iPhone, but he actually put it into practice. He did the work to create the thing. And so, yes, it starts with the idea. It starts with the creation in the mind. And then you manifest it on the outside. You put in the work to do it. And I think that's the hardest part. I am creative as all get out. I can think of the craziest stuff. But unless I actually go do it, nothing's gonna happen. And so that's why manifestation was always so confusing to me. Because I thought, you just think and dream it, and all of a sudden you're gonna get a check in the mail. That's always like the narrative that you hear on YouTube videos is, you needed money, you prayed for it, and all of a sudden you got a $2,000 check in the mail. I'm like, nah, it doesn't happen like that. It doesn't happen to me like that. Like who gets that? Where is this happening? But maybe it's also that my dreams and my desires are so big that it just takes time. Like, I desire to be a certain type of man. I desire to fly private every single time. I desire to have a certain house in a certain location that looks a certain way. I desire to have a certain type of family. I desire to have like all these things that I'm actively attracting in my life, but it doesn't happen like that because maybe they're just so huge that the reality of it is they just take a long time. And so patience is an aspect as well, and the consistency. And I think that's where you become what you're trying to become to get the thing. You have to become the thing to become the thing to get the thing. Because if you don't become the thing and you get the thing, you're not going to be able to hold on to the thing for very long. You know what I'm saying? Like, think of a jackpot winner, right? The Mega Millions or whatever. The people who didn't become the person that could earn it or hold on to it lose it very quickly. Or the athletes, multi-millions, they didn't become the person that could hold on to that amount of money. So they lost it, right? You have to become the thing in order to have the thing and be the person that can do the thing. I don't know if that makes sense at all. But that's been a challenge for me. And then again, going back to what I previously said, I overthink. Am I becoming the thing? Because that's so subjective. There's no metric. Especially if you're not getting immediate feedback. You're not getting the cars you want, the house you want, the family you want, the whatever, the money you want. There's no immediate feedback, right? It takes time because it takes time to create a new identity, a new person from within. And then your outside changes. That's what we're told, right? But how do you know you're doing it right? That's the question. I'm still trying to figure that out. How do you know you're doing it right? Because there's no immediate feedback. You know if you're doing the right studies because you get the grades on the test. You know you're doing the right things on a date because you're getting a kiss at the end of the date. You know that you are selling well because you made a big sale at the end of the day. Whatever it might be, you're cooking well because you cooked a damn good meal. That's an all immediate feedback. But these bigger things, there's no immediate feedback. Bigger things meaning like changing who you are to become the person that can attract the bigger things you want in life. There's no immediate feedback in life or in that regard. And that's why possibly a lot of people don't reach those goals because they can't consistently push themselves when there's no feedback. It's kind of like working out. If you're 400 pounds and you start working out, you're probably not going to see much difference in the first month or two. And that's where most people fail because people want that quick fix, but it's a longer term play than that. But if you wait 6 months, 12 months, you're going to see a massive difference. And so maybe that's what it is the goals are so large that I'm not going to see any results for a long time, but I just have to be consistent and push and become, because it takes a long time to become. I kind of view it as being a flower, an undeveloped flower, right? Like right now, maybe I'm just in bulb stage. And in this bulb stage, I'm becoming. And I'm becoming this larger, beautiful flower, but that's further down the road. I haven't developed quite yet. Maybe that's what's happening, right? It's really tough to tell. You just hope and pray and see if you're right. But that's the gamble. Because if you don't push, if you don't grind, if you don't work hard, if you don't actively try to be that person, then there's a 100% chance that you won't become that person. So the only chance you have, the only shot you have is to try. Jocko Willink had a really good visual. He said if you're lost, it's kind of like being lost in a forest. If you don't know where you're going, just start walking. Because the worst thing you can do is just staying where you are. Because then you're guaranteed to not go anywhere. Then you're guaranteed not to progress. But if you start walking, at least you have a chance to get somewhere. So try. At least you can try to become something new in life. At least you can put effort towards something, and fingers crossed, maybe you're doing it right. And there might be little things in life that tell you you're doing it right. You just have to be aware enough to be able to latch onto them and recognize them. And in Jocko's illustration, he says, if you don't reach your destination in however much time, come back, try a different direction. You know, there are flaws to this illustration, but you kind of get the point. Like, there's only one way to find out if you're going in the right direction, and that's to try. You just have to try, because the only way to truly fail is to not try. And so I think that's the journey I'm on, is just trying, just figuring it out. I think we're all just figuring it out. There's a lot of fakeness out there, and it's really difficult when we try to compare ourselves to everybody, because I think more people than we think don't have it figured out. And when I say it, I just mean like aspects of life. You know, no one wants to admit they don't have it figured out, but I'm a firm believer that most people don't. So I think we're all just trying to figure it out. We're all just trying to find that path. Some of us are further down that path than others. Some of us have found the path. Some of us have not. We're all just trying to become the thing that we want to become so that we can get the thing, right? And that's a tough path. That's a very difficult path. It requires patience, persistence, perseverance. And that's why most people don't get to the point in life that they truly want. So, just some thoughts for the day. I hope you guys have a good one. Talk later.